certainly many things we can do better if you look back. When at the start of the year, when we were fighting this virus, there are so much uncertainty, so many things we didn't know about the virus. We didn't know about the asymptomatic nature of transmission. We didn't know how infectious it was. No one could tell that it would have caused the world to come to a standstill, travel to stop, borders to close. And some people at that time even predicted, don't worry, by June it will be all over because hot weather, everything will be over like SARS. So, you know, it just means that there was a lot of unknown, and clearly if we have a better picture, then we, you know, will have taken different measures. So I think there are certainly all things we can do better in a crisis like this. We will definitely encounter bumps along the road. Not everything we will get right, that's for sure. The key, as I've said before, is that we have to be quick to adapt, to adjust, to be nimble, put things right, recover from setbacks, and move forward. And that's the attitude we have. And at the end of the day, after all this is over, as we have promised, we will do a full review so that really to look at how our processes, our systems can be improved, because we know that there will be future pandemics. And just as we have learned from SARS, we have improved our system. After COVID-19, we want to learn from this experience to do even better and be better prepared for the next pandemic and for disease X in the future.
I think one lesson, following on Lauren's point, one important lesson we learned from this crisis, this pandemic, is that we must be prepared to adapt quite quickly. And we must assume that the unknowns are unknowns. Sometimes we don't know what are the unknowns. We think that we know because we have a lot of experience in the past, whether it's H1N1, SARS, and so on. So we have accumulated a lot of experience, and we think that we should do it this way because this is what we've done before, or this is what we did not do before, that's why we could have done better, and therefore this time we should do it this way. But it is not necessarily so, because the disease is quite different, and every outbreak is going to be different. Similarly, even as we do our review in time to come, there are many lessons that we learn, but one thing we have to bear in mind is that the next outbreak will again be very different from this one. If we just simply replicate what we do today, and assuming that we have already learned the lesson, and next time do exactly what we do what we would have done this time, I think the outcome will probably again be different. So I think we must always bear in mind that we need to be nimble, look for evidence. Sometimes you may need to make a few preemptive steps. One important characteristic of this virus that we did not expect in the beginning, one was what Lauren said is asymptomatic transmission. The second fact that we discovered was that actually it was infectious before it became symptomatic. So that makes it very difficult to prevent a transmission, because if you are not symptomatic, it's very unlikely for you to go and see a doctor, and you are not likely to be to know that you are infectious. And in fact, by the time you become symptomatic, and go and look for a doctor, you have been infectious for a couple of days already. So if you remember, in the very beginning, we said that if you are unwell, you have symptoms of flu-like symptoms and so on, go back 5 days MC, and then if you still don't recover, come and see a doctor again. Then we will test you. Then subsequently, we decided that that won't work, because first, it may be asymptomatic. Secondly, even if symptomatic, it's already infectious 2 days before. And therefore, we now swap everyone that is symptomatic, so as to catch them earlier. But again, even that is not enough, because by the time he's symptomatic and see the doctor, you already have 1 or 2 days that is infectious. And therefore, even our contact tracing has to move backwards much longer, so as to catch, detect more people who could have been exposed. So these are the things that we need to change as we go along. And as more evidence emerge, then we must learn very quickly and adapt our modus operandi very quickly to the reality on the ground.